Hello everybody, it's Stefan here, and hope you're having a safe Halloween. Now, unfortunately, I don't have something pre-planned for today, and the day's almost up, and yeah, I really need to do this really quick. So today I'm gonna do a horror story video, and no, I'm not talking about the air quoted the true stories, you know, occult satanic bullshit. I'm talking about real life crime, okay? Well, it's not really scary, but this is a real life crime. So yeah, murder, yeah, you know. This is a story of Ricky Kasso. You may never heard of him. You may heard of him, but for those who never heard of him, well, after you watch this video, you've heard of him. So, oh, and by the way, I'm just reading off of Wikipedia, so I'm just gonna read as much as I can with enough information. I wish I could dig into more. Actually, like pre-made this, so you know what I mean. But maybe I will in the future. So, okay, here I go. Richard Allen Ricky Kasso Jr., also known as the Acid King, was an American killer who murdered his 17-year-old friend Gary Lars in Northport, New York on June 19, 1984. Born on March 29, 1967, Kasso was the son of a local high school history teacher and football coach at affluent Cold Spring Harbor High School. Kasso was often thrown out of his home as a young teen and lived on the streets of suburban Northport, New York, usually sleeping in the local woods or in the cars, garages, backyards, and houses of friends. He often took drugs, mainly marijuana, hashish, LSD, PCP, and purple microdots of what he believed to be mescaline, but was most likely low-grade LSD. He tended to consume all of his drugs, but had on occasion dealt drugs in Northport as well. Kasso dabbled in the occult and Satanism and was acquainted with the members of a loosely organized group of friends who sold marijuana, referred to themselves as the Knights of the Black Circle. Kasso allegedly participated in occult ceremonies, mostly in North Point, and celebrated Walpurgis Night at the infamous Amityville Horror House in 1984. Kasso also expressed to friends his interest in Anton LaVey's book, The Satanic Bible. On at least one occasion, Ricky's parents admitted him to the South Oak Psychiatric Hospital in Amityville, New York for drug rehabilitation and psychiatric care. In the year prior to the murder, Kasso had been arrested for digging into a colonial-era grave inside a local cemetery. Less than a month after his arrest for this crime, Ricky contracted pneumonia and was treated at Long Island Jewish Hospital. During his hospital stay, his parents tried to convince the doctor to commit him for involuntary psychiatric care. However, the conclusion of the psychiatrist was that Kasso exhibited antisocial behavior but was never psychotic nor a violent danger, and Kasso was released upon recovery from his bout with pneumonia. The conflict between Kasso and Lars had started some time earlier when Lars stole 10 bags of PCP from Kasso's jacket after he had passed out at a party. Kasso confronted him soon after the incident, prompting Lars to immediately return 5 of the 10 bags of PCP. Lars also promised to repay Kasso $50 for the 5 bags of PCP that had been used. Kasso reportedly beat Lars on 4 occasions. On the night of the murder, Kasso visited the small gazebo in the new Cow Harbor Park and borrowed a radio from a friend. He then invited Lars to get high with him with his 2 other friends, Jimmy Tarano and Albert Keenans. The group walked to Azteca Woods, set up a camp, and ingested several doses of what they believed to be mescaline. The drugs they ingested were tablets called purple microdots, and while they were erroneously referred to as mescaline on the street, they were likely LSD. The teens also smoked several bags of PCP before attempting to start a small fire, but all the available firewood was too wet and would not ignite. Lars used his socks as well as the sleeves from his denim jacket as kindling to start the fire. At some point during the night, the situation had escalated into violence. Kasso scuffled with Lars, bit him on the neck, and stabbed him in the chest. Kasso continued his assault on lawyers, and Quinon's later claimed that Triano helped Kasso and helped lawyers during the attack. During the subsequent testimony he provided under immunity, Quinon's later claimed that Triano did not assist Kasso. Lawyers were stabbed somewhere between 17 and 36 times, and his eyeballs were possibly sliced out during the stabbing. During the attack, Kasso allegedly commanded lawyers to say "you love Satan," and lawyers is said to have instead replied, "I love my mother," before finally giving in to Kasso's demands. After the attack, Kasso and Triano covered lawyers' bodies with leaves and small branches and left it in the woods. In the aftermath, Kasso bragged about the murders to friends. Kasso claimed Satan manifested in the form of a black crow after killing lawyers, and that the crow had cawed, something he interpreted as Satan's approval of the murder. Kasso even brought several disbelieving teens to view lawyer's body before he and Triano returned to the woods to bury the decomposing remains in a shallow grave. However, it wasn't until 2 weeks went by, on July 1st, that the murder was reported to the police via an anonymous tip. On July 4th, 1984, police used dogs to search Azteca woods and recovered the decomposing and mutilated body of Gary Lawyers. Kasso and Triano were arrested the next day. On July 7th, Kasso committed suicide by hanging himself in his jail cell. Jimmy Triano signed 2 confessions that he later recanted. Well, I hope you all enjoy this story, and I apologize if I said any last names incorrectly or any other words incorrectly. And again, I wish I can dive in more into this case, but again, it's about to get dark out, so you know what, I'm just gonna end it here. I hope you all have a safe Halloween, and thank you guys for watching. This is Death Aaron, and I'm out.